Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday evening and for Holistic Health and Hot Mamas. So we are the Hot Mamas, and we're going to be talking about some holistic health. So hi, Court. How was your weekend? How was your week? Tell me, catch us up. Tell us what's happening.
It was good. So I went on another hike. I went on a hike yesterday with my husband and one of my daughters. We hiked Sleeping Beauty Mountain in Lake George, New York, and it was amazing. It actually inspired me. For the past year or so, I've been thinking about trying to hike all 46 high peaks of the Adirondacks, and I think I'm actually going to try to go for it. I've made a lot of excuses saying I don't have the time, I don't have a babysitter or the skill, but I decided I'm going to learn. I'm going to find a babysitter and find some hiking buddies, and I'm going to go for it. So I'm excited.
Okay, that is exciting. I've done Sleeping Beauty Mountain myself, and I will tell you a little bit about my experience. I went with my three sons. This is maybe about 5 years ago, and my niece, Diane and Charlie, and I will say it's a pretty steep hike. We lost some shoes, and yeah, there was a lot of crying.
Oh my gosh.
No, I commend you for that. I remember going up and one of my sons, or maybe all of them, kept asking everybody who was coming down, how much longer? And they kept saying, you're just around the bend, you're almost there. And 2 hours later, we weren't. And we were actually supposed to be at a party. And we ended up being about 4 hours late to the party. So everybody thought that we had fallen off the mountain. I was told that it's a family-friendly hike, and it was going to be quick and easy. But for a group for 5 children under 10, yeah, it's not so easy. And I found it to be a very challenging hike, even for myself.
Yeah, there was a lot of crying on our hike too, but that was coming from my daughter. We had her strapped on to us. Me and my husband took turns wearing her, and she did not. We were like, oh, it's a piggyback ride, and she did not want any part of it. But we made it up, and it was challenging, but once we got to the top, the view was so worth it.
It's definitely worth it. But they said that they would never do it again, and they still talk about it to this day. It's funny. I just got the memory on Facebook, and I show them, and they make it sound like as if I had tortured them.
Oh my gosh!
And it was torture for me. I will say that. So. But anyways, I enjoy that hike as well. The Adirondacks are certainly one of the benefits and assets of living in upstate New York. So I'm glad that you enjoyed that. I enjoy that as well. So great. So that's your celebration. And you actually inspired me. I thought to myself, I'd like to go on a hike. I saw those pictures. And I thought to myself, too, why aren't you posting those in our group? That's something that you should be putting in our Facebook group so that everybody can appreciate that as well. Okay, so that's something, and I'm trying to think what's my celebration for the week. I think my celebration. What did I do this weekend? I think that I got some things actually done around the house. I actually did some relaxing. I did some, and I'll get to it at the end, but. It's something that I want to speak to about our challenge, but I did some meal prepping. I did some things to balance my life, but I don't want to give a sneak peek too long. I spent some quality time with my children. It's just something that I didn't do last weekend because obviously I was away on a girls' trip, which was certainly some quality time, and I definitely enjoyed that. So I did that, but I think just sometimes it's the simple things and just doing. And I don't want to say nothing because I don't think there are really many times in my life that I do nothing. I seem to always be doing something, but just it was some downtime for me. I did less than I typically do, and I was able to slow down and enjoy that. So I think that's my celebration. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it really was. And then I also did some, well, we'll get to that later. So, all right, so let's talk about the recap. I don't know, we do have a recap. We were going to talk about, last week we talked about your hair routine and some of the products that you use and the difference that a year has made and throughout I don't want to say the quality of your hair, but the condition of your hair. So give us a scoop on that.
Yeah, so so for the past about year or so, I've been following, it's called the Curly Girl method. I don't really like the name of that. I think it should be Curly Person method, just because men can have long curly hair also. But I used to have bleach blonde, like white hair, if you can remember, for the longest time. Yeah, for the longest time. And it just was so high maintenance. So I decided I wanted to start growing my hair out to my natural color. And I discovered the Curly Girl method. So I don't put any heat on my hair. I got rid of my curling irons, my flat irons, and I only blow dry my hair on the cool setting with a diffuser. And I don't use any products on my hair that have alcohol, sulfates, or parabens. There's like a little calculator online that you can use, and you put in the product that you want to search for, and it will tell you if it's a Curly Girl method approved. But I am like a minimalist Curly Girl method person. A lot of people, they use like 20 different products. I really only use like 3 or 4 products. Other people make their own products, which is really good. But I don't want to spend a ton of time doing my hair. So I just use, an approved shampoo, conditioner, and then I use an approved gel. I put the gel in my hair while it's still soaking wet. And then I wrap my hair in a microfiber towel and a little hairspray. And this is the result. So I can post my results on Facebook on the Holistic Health and Hot Mamas Facebook group. I could post a picture of what my hair looked like a year ago. It's a total transformation.
And I can attest to that. So I was never a huge fan of and not just with you, but in general, the bleach blonde look. I think that, always eventually at the ends, it looks dry, for anybody. I think it's hard to make that look natural. So I love the new look and even the color and quality. I didn't tell you that last year, but now that we're a year in, I'll be honest with you about it. And that's not meant to be critical. I just think it's an improvement. I just think it's a more natural look.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's great. So that's our recap. What is in our topic of the week is we're going to talk about the fashion finds for the fall. I'll let you go ahead and start. I want to speak about a men's trend, which is a little, hopefully we have some men tuning in, and I believe that we often do. I don't know where our buddy Justin is tonight, but let's talk about the trends in the fashion find that you found this week and tell the viewers about it. And what do you think about it, and how can they find it if they want to?
Yeah, so I went to Target with my 2 girls this weekend, and I was looking for a new pair of jeans. None of my old jeans, they don't fit. I don't really like them anymore. So I was looking for a pair of jeans, and I know that the Gen Z kids these days, they're wearing like the baggier jeans. So I was like, I wonder if I could pull those off. So I found a pair. It was the last pair in my size. I went and tried them on, and I loved them. They were called like super high rise straight jeans, and I'm super short, so I was worried that they would be so long on me. I can never find jeans that fit my length, and they were not too long. I love them, so I bought them, and I found them at Target, and I can actually post the link as well on our Facebook page.
Okay, great. So for me, I have never been a fan of jeans. I don't typically care for them, only because I find them to be uncomfortable. I'm not really in my I'll say I'm not at my jean weight right now either. I think that I do like certain pairs of jeans, but it's crazy. I've always liked, and back in the day they called them bell bottoms, and they were so taboo. You were so out of style if you wore them. But I do like the wide leg still, and that's back in, so I'm happy about that. But when I do wear jeans, that's what I wear. And I think, yeah, jeans are so versatile. So that's great that you found a great find. And I'm sure at Target they're pretty reasonable. They're not outlandish and outside of anybody's budget.
Yeah, they were only $22 and they are so comfortable. It like I was wearing them and it honestly felt like it could be a pair of sweatpants.
So I love that. When I wear jeans, I typically wear just very, most of my, I shop anywhere. So I'm pretty, uh, I think I'm trendy, but I also am money conscious when it comes to fashion because I think you can always find something reasonable when you're out shopping around. But I typically wear, just some kind of Levi's, and not stretch, but a little bit. I think most jeans are stretchy now, a little bit of a stretch in them, and I enjoy those too. And it's funny. Last year, I believe I was speaking to my sons are not this point. I was speaking to a friend at Christmas time, and she has a teenage son, and he's actually in his early 20s. And I said, "What are you going to buy him?" And I can't remember the name brand, but they were these jeans that were almost $300. I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's crazy, but um, I'm not one to judge. So, but I was thinking to myself, thank God my sons have no interest in $300 jeans or any, are really not many name brands at all. So I'm fortunate in that regard.
Yeah,
So
I don't
that's,
think I'll be so lucky with having two girls.
you're not going to be so lucky. But for me, I was going to speak about men's bomber jackets. They're back in fashion, and I'm curious. I know that the Top Gun movie is coming back out, and if that has anything, Top Gun 2, which I'm looking forward to seeing, I wonder if that has any influence in it. But I can't wait to see some gentlemen in that. And I also saw that, and this is a little bit high end, but I saw yesterday actually on a show that I thought was interesting. It was a man in a Versace jean jacket, but the jean jacket had a furry, I think it was a furry pink collar, or it might have been orange, and he was wearing it and complimenting his girlfriend's dress. And I thought that that's probably a trend that's coming out now. I'm not advising any of our viewers to hop on the bandwagon and go pick up a Versace jean jacket, but if that's in your price range, I certainly believe that that's a trend as well this year. And it's something, check it out if you're interested. And we can put some links on our website, on our Facebook group, and so people can check it out. All right. So let's dive into our self-care around the world. I'm going to throw the mic back to you.
So for self-care around the world, I have Spain. In Spain, they have a Spanish siesta, and it's an after lunch nap. They actually take this so seriously that most businesses close in the afternoon for a couple of hours. I don't know if I would want to participate in that. I feel like if I take an afternoon nap, I'm grumpy and just sluggish for the rest of the day. What about you?
I don't find, and I think that there are many people, and my sister-in-law is one, who say they can take a 20-minute power nap and then feel wide awake and refreshed. That's never happened in my lifetime. And 20 minutes, first of all, it's not enough time for me. I don't typically take naps, and I agree. I think that when I take a nap, it's very rare that I take a nap, and when I do, I'm very tired. And yeah, it's a rarity, but I don't ever feel refreshed. I don't think. I think it really derails my whole schedule. I applaud the people who can. We have someone on Coast to Coast, Dave, and we call him the sleep champion. He can sleep anywhere. And of course, I'm married to somebody who can easily take some naps. I mean, right? That was the family joke for a long time that, John can fall asleep, floating in a puddle. But so it's really, it's outside of my norm. So yeah, I agree with you there.
It's not a holiday celebration if he doesn't take a nap right after dinner.
Right. He's usually napping through dinner, but that's a different that's a different topic. That's a different segment. But yeah, we'll have to do that. I'll have to get some pictures. We're coming up into the holiday season. I don't know if the viewers will believe us, but we'll get some. We'll
I
share
think
some
I
screens.
have one. I think I
Yeah.
have one from like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and I snuck a picture on Snapchat of him like lounging in Aunt Marlene's recliner.
All right, we'll have to get some fresh snapshots this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the viewers know, but our family is rooted in Irish culture. My father is, and Courtney's grandfather is actually a dual citizen of Ireland and the United States. So he's 100% Irish. His parents came over on the boat, and my mother she's not 100% Irish, but she has some Irish blood in her too. But we were certainly raised we're American and we're proud of that, but we were certainly raised to respect and really my whole upbringing had a lot of our fringes of Irish, what am I trying to say? Our Irish heritage. So, and we're certainly proud of that. So I decided tonight to look at self-care in Ireland, and I found it very amusing and a very indicative, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical. I'll only speak about my own family. And the first thing that was said is that the Irish is probably the only country in the world who believes that self-care is actually self-pity. They don't ascribe to it, and I'm sure that that's not the entire population, but it certainly is reflective of how we feel. So I found it amusing, and they were speaking about it, and I'm going to read a little bit about it, that Ireland seems to be one of the only countries where the phrase "you love yourself" is considered an insult of the highest order. I think that that's true. They don't. Most of the people in our family, and I'm not going to say our generation or my generation, but the generations before, don't believe in therapy. They don't believe. They say that anything that comes close to praise is considered. They might get a big head, and I think we're probably fairly humble and in our lifestyle. But I think, and I don't know, what do you think about that, Court? I think that that's probably true.
Yeah, I definitely believe it's very accurate, at least within our family.
With our family, for sure. So there are some in Ireland who are trying to break that mold, and maybe we'll have to introduce that. We'll have to do some New Year's resolutions and talk about it over the holidays. But it's saying that that really to really start to change that dialogue, that self-care in Ireland is about, people over there are starting to change the dialogue and appreciate and respect the fact that we do need to take care of ourselves, and that it's healthy and not self-deprecating. It's not a sign of narcissism if you take a bubble bath or take that afternoon nap. I mean, so I think that they're saying to take care of your physical health and do things like read a book, cuddle your pet, and still, even those things are modest in the realm of self-care. They're not taking chocolate spa baths like we've spoken about before. But if you're over there in Ireland, we're encouraging you to read a book, have your afternoon tea, and cuddle with a pet. We'll go that far. We'll throw it out, or go down to your local pub and have a pint. That's a little bit of self-care, and talk to your friends too. So that made me laugh this week, and I could use a laugh today for sure. All right, so what we already talked about your hair routine. Is that also seems to be, was that part of your Courtney's Corner, or do you have something else you want to share? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? What else is on your mind?
Yeah, well, also if anyone's interested in regards to the hair routine, I can post on our Facebook page, the specific products I use. Some of the products that I like to use have been out of stock, so I've had to switch it up a little bit. I can also post the links to the calculator to find out what your hair type is. There's also a link to find out if the products that you use are approved or not. And there's also a bunch of Facebook groups for curly hair support. So if anybody is interested in that, I can definitely post that on our Facebook page also.
Yeah, perfect. So I am going to talk a little bit about my Tierney tidbit is going to be I think that without getting too specific, I'm really multi-diverse. I have my hand in a lot of endeavors, and some of them are stressful. I have professional roles that are more stressful than others. And I think today was a very particularly stressful day for me. I think that there have only been throughout probably the last 20 years on the job, very few times when I've been reduced to tears. And I think that today was one of those days. And I think I try to stay composed, I try to stay professional, but I think the stress of the job, and it wasn't about the work, it was the way that I believed that people are being treated. And I think that that's very important to me. I think that office morale, I try to be a positive influence in the world. I think that office morale should be considered, and it's certainly not the responsibility of an organization, but I think it should be a consideration. And I think especially post-COVID, we have people who have children who are struggling and suffering, and children are facing mental health crises. Adults are facing mental health crises, and it's probably at an all-time high in this country. And I've read studies about it and statistics about it. So I think today was a very stressful day for me, and I started to think about other people who are facing similar challenges in the workplace. And I want to encourage people who are to really don't be, and this goes in the vein of what we were speaking about before. I mean, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid. I think that communication is so essential. And even in the workplace, I think that oftentimes people are afraid to speak their mind because they're afraid of retaliation. They're afraid that they can't. And it's true, sometimes that does happen. But I think if you can impact a change, I think truth and kindness almost always has a positive impact. And it may not be immediate, but I encourage you to do that. And if you do have stressful moments, then take a breather. It's not. I think that anybody will, if you say, I need to step out of the office for a minute, I need 2 seconds, I need to speak to somebody. Most people are probably open to that. And I've spoken about this before. If you need something, ask for it, and you'll never know the answer if you don't. So I think that you want to be mindful of that, because stress can impact your body. I've known people have had heart attacks in the office, and I'm sure much of that was attributed to stress. So think about your health above all else. And that's really my tidbit and my encouragement. That's what I encourage you to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you had a bad day, but I think you have a really great message. So thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome. And my day wasn't, and I want to say that too. I mean, my day wasn't bad because there are many bright moments. Here we are tonight. So I think that people should also be mindful that don't let 15 minutes of a day, don't label your entire day as bad because you had some bad moments. And I did have some bad moments, but I also had some great moments. It strengthened a friendship. I strengthened the friendship today. I stood up for others who I felt were being mistreated. And those are things that, are positive in their own respects. So it wasn't entirely a bad day. I had a few bad moments, but it turned itself around, and here we are. I'm here with you and my man behind the scenes, Chris. So that's certainly positive. And I have anybody that's tuning in. There's also the Bo and Joe show tonight at 10, which is always fun. My partner in crime at Wednesdays at 10, Bodine Sanders, certainly makes me laugh and keeps my evening lively and hopping. Okay, so that's it. And I appreciate you listening. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And so what's next? What about our challenge for the week? The Hot Mamas Challenge. How did you do this week? Tell me about how you made out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I did not hit the 90 ounces every day. I did do a lot better than I had been doing previously, but so what's my punishment for what do I have to do?
I'll have to think about it. So and I want to talk about something else in a minute. I think we should introduce a new segment next week, and I'm going to talk about that. Or perhaps maybe when you're not driving, when you're coming up here, it's not. I think you can handle it. your punishment is that you have to drink 90 ounces this week. I'm gonna extend your challenge. You're gonna have 2 challenges then. You're gonna have to get the water in, and we'll have to think about something else too. So I'll talk about me. So I did pretty well. I mean, I won't say that I did it for an entire week. And my challenge was to incorporate some balance in my life. And I think I was able to do that. I spent a little bit of time every day working on my professional ambitions and where I want to be. I spent some downtime with my children. I got some laundry done. I got some cleaning done, which, typically people may not think that that's that big a deal, but I with all of these projects that I have been neglecting some projects that I wanted to complete around the house, and I actually even watched a couple TikTok videos, so that could be my new thing. I'm getting ready, gearing up more and more in our prime. I would say in the next 6 weeks, I want to get out there and start doing some of these TikTok challenges. I like the push-up one, or 1, 2. Do you watch that?
Yeah. Delaney and I actually did one when we went to Ocean City, not this past year, but the year before. Delaney and I did one of the TikTok push-up challenges.
All right, so there's a new one now where it's left, right, and then you have to do some push-ups and some dance moves incorporated. I'm not in that kind of shape yet. I'm going to have to practice my push-ups, but I definitely want to. I'm saying that that's a challenge I'm going to give to both of us. By the new year, we are going to have a face on TikTok and get some of these challenges done. So I'm going to have to get my upper body strength in order to be able to accomplish that. There's a lot of them out there, and some of them are super fun. There's some that don't involve push-ups, but they all seem to involve some type of dance move. So we're gonna have to brush up. We're gonna have to sign up for some dance lessons.
I don't think I'd be able to do a push-up one just because of my wrist pain. My wrist pain has gotten so much better within the last couple of months, so I'm afraid to injure myself again.
All right, so I'll have to. Looks like Chris is up for the push-up challenge then. I'll call him from behind the scenes. He'll be doing the push-up challenge with me. But anyway, so we're gonna have a presence on TikTok going into the new year. That's one of my ambitions.
Definitely.
So, all right, so and last night I was watching a show, and I don't know where I saw it, but they had, and I'm not going to remember, I think it was called Sip or Spill. And we can ask, and the viewers could ask us questions as well. But if you don't answer the question, you can choose. It's almost like truth or dare. If you choose not to answer a question, you have to take a little sip of wine. So I think that would be fun. So we'll have to think about
we could do that on the show one day.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. One day, we could do it every Wednesday. I could have used some sips tonight.
Yeah.
So that's good. And so what do you think? What are our challenges for next week?
I don't know. I forgot to think of one for you.
Let's see. Let me think what I need help with. Oh boy. All right. What about you? Let me think. How Google it? What challenges to do with friends? Let's think about it. Oh boy. These are, yeah.
I think you're going to get different kinds of challenges than what we're looking for.
Yeah, that's true. The one's a blindfolded eating contest. I don't think we're going to do that. All right, so let's give it a thought. And let's give it a thought. And what could well, you're continuing on with the water challenge. I think I did some food prepping, which was great. I enjoyed doing that.
How are you doing on your cardio?
I'm not doing great this week, so I will say I do have to up that again. I have been pretty busy this week, and actually my treadmill broke, so I just got a new one, and it's back in shape. I could have done the bike, but I'm not in bike shape. I feel as if I need a little bit more consistent treadmill time before I hop back on the spin bike. Although I do have that in here, only because that's much different. That's a more intense workout, and I think I got to build back up to that. I haven't even actually been to the gym this week because the wait list has been so long that I haven't been able to get in there. So I'll hop back on the cardio. Maybe let's do that. I can revisit that, and instead of last time it was four times a week, let's increase it. I'll go to 6 times and continue on my balance. We can build and then think about what we're going to do for next week.
That's good. I I used to get up at like 5:30 every morning to exercise. And since my daughter started kindergarten, I've been getting up when she gets up rather than getting up before her. So I might need to be challenged to get up a little bit earlier this week because I really want to start getting my workouts in before everyone gets up. And then that way I have the rest of my day to do everything else that I want to do.
I think that that's something I'm going to work on this week as well. I think that that's something I don't consistently do. I don't consistently get up early, which is the key for me. Sometimes I do get up early now, but I do some social media. I'm going to challenge you to that. I'm going to challenge you to learn more about our social media posting this week because I need some help with that. So, all right.
Sounds good.
And I'm also going to challenge you to finish that assignment that I gave you. We're going to have to do some work on that. We're two professional endeavors. So, yeah, you got to get some balance in your life and get doing some work and start incorporating some more work for me.
I know. You're right.
All right, and I think that's a good segue into next week. We'll do a teaser of what we have in store coming up for the new year. We have a lot of big plans for the new year, and I think that we'll talk about that. And moving into the new year.
All
I
right.
think that's all we have, right? What do you want? Do you have anything you want to tease for next week?
I don't know. I can't
What's our segment for next week? I think we're going to talk about financial fitness next week. And maybe we can talk about some fun. We'll throw in two things. We'll talk about financial fitness and we'll talk about some fun Halloween activities, right? Because we're coming up to Halloween next week. We'll talk about maybe our fashion finds will be some fun, unique Halloween costumes. We'll switch it up. We'll have a Halloween party next. That's what our theme will be next week. Let's have a Halloween party.
Oh yeah, should we dress up?
Let's do it. All right. All right. We might even have to pull Chris in behind the scenes. Chris, you got your costume ready? He's got a whole week to get something going.
Oh, this is exciting.
And maybe we can have some special guests. Let's have a Halloween party. We'll bring in some guests next week and we'll ramp it up.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you next week and we'll have a lot of fun. We're hoping to have fun. So thanks. And of course, thanks to Chris behind the scenes. All right. And maybe Chris is going to dress up like Chris P. Bacon. I've seen some bacon outfits. I could see Chris in that next week. All right. So thanks. You can play us out, Chris.
Thank you.